Using force creates a reaction. That reaction will eventually work against you. Instead, you must seduce others into wanting to move in your direction. A person you have seduced becomes your loyal ally. And the way to seduce others is to operate on their individual psychologies and weaknesses. Soften up those who are resistant by working on their emotions, playing on what they hold dear and what they fear. If you ignore the hearts and minds of others, they will grow to hate you. In the game of power, you are surrounded by people who have absolutely no reason to help you unless it is in their interest to do so. And if you have nothing to offer their self-interest, you are likely to make them hostile, for they will see in you just one more competitor, one more waster of their time. Those that overcome this prevailing coldness are the ones who find the key that unlocks the stranger's heart and mind, seducing him into their corner, if necessary softening him up for a punch. But most people never learn this side of the game. When they meet someone new, rather than stepping back and probing to see what makes this person unique, they talk about themselves, eager to impose their own willpower and prejudices. They argue, boast, and make a show of their power. They may not know it, but they are secretly creating an enemy, a resistor, because there is no more infuriating feeling than having your individuality ignored, your own psychology unacknowledged. It makes you feel lifeless and resentful. In the realm of power, you must attend to those around you at all times, gauging their particular psychology, tailoring your words to what you know will entice and seduce them. This requires energy and art. The higher your station, the greater the need to remain attuned to the hearts and minds of those below you, creating a base of support to maintain you at the pinnacle. Without that base, your power will teeter, and at the slightest change of fortune, those below will gladly assist in your fall from grace. The key to persuasion is softening people up and breaking them down, gently. Seduce them with a two-pronged approach. Work on their emotions and play on their intellectual weaknesses. Be alert to both what separates them from everyone else, their individual psychology, and their basic emotional responses that they share with everyone else. Aim at their primary emotions: love, fear, hate and jealousy. Once you move their emotions, you have reduced their control, making them more vulnerable to persuasion. In all your encounters, take a step back, take the time to calculate and attune yourself to your target's emotional makeup and psychological weaknesses. Force will only strengthen their resistance. With most people, the heart is the key. They are like children, ruled by their emotions. To soften them up, alternate harshness with mercy. Push people to despair, then give them relief. If they expect pain and you give them pleasure, you win their hearts. Creating pleasure of any kind, in fact, will usually bring you success, as will allaying fears and providing or promising security. Play on their basic fears, and also their loves, like freedom and family. All of us are mortal and face the same dreadful fate, and all of us share the desire for attachment and belonging. Stir up these emotions and you capture hearts. Symbolic gestures are often enough to win sympathy and goodwill. A gesture of self-sacrifice, for example, a show that you suffer as those around you do, will make people identify with you, even if your suffering is symbolic or minor, and theirs is real. When you enter a group, make a gesture of goodwill, softening the group up for the actions that will follow later. Many people today feel alienated, anonymous, and suspicious of authority. All of which makes overt power plays and force even more counterproductive and dangerous. Instead of manipulating lifeless pawns, make those on your side convinced and excited by the cause you have enlisted them in. This will make your work much easier. And to accomplish this, you need to deal with their individual psychologies. Never assume that the tactic that worked on one person will necessarily work on another. To find the key that will motivate them, first get them to open up. The more they talk, the more they reveal about their likes and dislikes, and these are the handles and levers to move them with. The quickest way to secure people's minds is by demonstrating as simply as possible how an action will benefit them. Self-interest is the strongest motive of all. A great cause may capture minds, but once the flash of excitement is over, interest will weaken. Self-interest provides a more solid foundation. The best causes have a noble veneer to cover a blatant appeal to self-interest. The cause may seduce, but self-interest seals the deal. The people who are best at appealing to people's minds are often artists, musicians, writers, and poets. This is because ideas are most easily communicated through metaphors and imagery. It is always a good policy to have in your pocket at least one artist or intellectual who can appeal concretely to people's minds. It is dangerous then to alienate those who have powers of expression. Instead, you want to pacify them and exploit them for your benefit. Finally, learn to play the numbers game. The wider your support base, the stronger your power. Understand that one alienated, disaffected soul can spark a blaze of discontent. So be sure to endear yourself to the lowest members of your organization. You must constantly win over more allies on all status levels, for a time will inevitably come when you will need their support.